My name is Jasmine Fitzgerald. And for 31 years, I was the family joke, until the night I turned into the one thing they could never laugh off. Last Thanksgiving, my mother raised her glass in front of 14 people and said it like a punchline. One daughter is a doctor. The other cleans houses for a living. The room exploded in laughter. My sister smiled like she was above it. My father stared into his plate like silence could save me. And me? I just kept walking to the kitchen, refilling water glasses like I was built for it. Because in that house, I was. What they didn't know was this. 3 weeks later, those same people would sit in a ballroom packed with 600 guests, and watch me walk on stage to accept an award they couldn't even pronounce. And the company I built? It had already been serving their favorite luxury resort for 2 years. They just never thought to ask whose name was on the contract. Not once. That's where this really begins. In my family, you didn't get to be Jasmine Fitzgerald. You got assigned a role. My mother, Lorraine, made sure of it. Vivian was the golden one. The doctor. The perfect daughter. The proof my mother did everything right in life. And me? I was the extra. The background character. The one who showed up in photos only when no one important was blocking the frame. We lived in a perfect Arcadia home in Phoenix. Green lawn. 2 cars. Pool in the back. The kind of house that looked like success from the outside and felt like ranking charts on the inside. My father never corrected anything. Never defended anything. His favorite sentence was always the same: your mother just wants what's best. Even when it wasn't. Especially when it wasn't. And Vivian, she didn't need to fight for attention. She was attention. Dr. Vivian Fitzgerald Caldwell. Dermatologist. Practice owner. Married to a high-powered attorney. 2 kids. Perfect house. Perfect life. My mother didn't just love her. She advertised her. Facebook posts. Charity events. Awards. Photos. Her profile didn't even feel like a family page. It felt like a shrine. And me? I found 1 photo of myself in 3 years. Easter dinner. I was blurred in the background carrying a dish no one remembers. No tag. No name. Just noise in the corner of Vivian's story. The pattern was always the same. Vivian graduates medical school, 60-person party, live band, my mother crying speeches into microphones. I get certified as a medical assistant. That's nice, Jasmine. Pass the salad. Vivian buys a house, $30,000 gift. I move into a 1-bedroom apartment. Are you sure you can't stay home? Vivian breathes and it becomes a celebration. I exist and it becomes inconvenience. I stopped expecting fairness a long time ago. I just didn't know I was being trained for something bigger. It started when Vivian gave me a job. Front desk at her dermatology practice. She called it a favor. Her voice on the phone had that edge. Sweet, but sharp underneath. I'm doing this for you, Jasmine. Don't make me regret it. I didn't. For 5 years, I became invisible professionally too. I showed up early. I stayed late. I learned every patient's name, every allergy, every fear. I soothed panic before procedures. I fixed problems no one thanked me for. I never told a single patient I was her sister. I didn't want shortcuts. I wanted proof I belonged somewhere. But belonging was never on the schedule. The day it ended was ordinary. That's what made it worse. March 15th, 9:47 a.m. I was called into an office I had walked past 1,000 times. The manager didn't even look at me directly. Multiple concerns, she said. What concerns? Her eyes drifted away like the truth was too heavy to hold. I'm not at liberty to discuss details. I was terminated in 20 minutes. No warning. No record that made sense. No explanation that survived logic. Just a cardboard box and an exit door. And as I walked out, I passed Vivian's office. She was laughing on the phone. Didn't look up. Didn't pause. Didn't blink. That was when I understood something clearly for the first time. I wasn't fired. I was removed. 2 weeks later, the truth slipped out anyway. Your sister said you were a liability, a coworker whispered on a phone call. She told them you made patients uncomfortable. I sat in my car for 2 hours after that. Not crying. Not moving. Just staring at the steering wheel like it might explain how family becomes sabotage. That night, I told my parents I left voluntarily. They didn't question it. My mother just sighed. Well, hopefully you find something soon. People always ask what you do. She didn't even hear what she said. But I did. That same night, I called my Aunt Marlene. The family's warning story. The one no one wanted to become. She didn't interrupt once while I spoke. When I finished, she said something simple. Don't give them the satisfaction of watching you break. Then she added, and don't give them the satisfaction of watching you rebuild either. I didn't understand it yet. But I listened. I started cleaning houses. Not because I wanted to. Because I needed to survive. The first house was massive. Silent. Too big for one person's life. The woman inside barely noticed me at first. But I noticed everything. Bills forgotten. Food wasted. A life collapsing quietly behind expensive walls. So I fixed what I could. Organized what she ignored. Cleaned what she stopped seeing. And one day, she cried. No one has ever done this for me. That was the moment everything shifted. Because I realized something most people never do. Luxury isn't cleanliness. Luxury is relief. That's when Pristine Concierge was born. $50 filing fee. A name that sounded simple enough to ignore. At first, it was survival. Then it became structure. Then it became control. Then it became something my family never thought I was capable of building. By the time wealthy resort owners started calling, I was no longer guessing. I was leading. By the time contracts hit 6 figures, I was no longer invisible. I was necessary. By the time my company reached millions in revenue, I had already mastered the art of being underestimated. And still, at home, I stayed small. Just cleaning, Mom, I would say. Same answer every time. Same lack of curiosity in return. Because in my family, they didn't ask questions they weren't ready to admire the answer to. Until one phone call changed everything. My Aunt Marlene again. Her voice was different this time. Careful. Measured. I had a client mention a concierge company, she said. I think it's yours. Silence stretched between us. Then she said my name. Not like a question. Like a discovery. And I knew. The secret wasn't mine anymore. It was just delayed truth. Still. I didn't expect Thanksgiving. I didn't expect the table. I didn't expect 14 people waiting like an audience. I didn't expect to still be cast as the background. But I showed up anyway. Because I always had. I refilled glasses. I moved plates. I disappeared on cue. Until dinner. Until my mother stood up. Until the glass lifted. Until the words landed like they always did. One daughter is a doctor. The other cleans houses for a living. Laughter. Immediate. Automatic. Easy. Then my mother smiled. And added the line that broke something open. But at least she's good at it. More laughter. My sister laughed the loudest. My father didn't. But he also didn't stop it. And in that moment, something inside me went completely still. I set my glass down. Slowly. Deliberately. And I stood up. The room didn't understand yet. My mother blinked. Jasmine, is something wrong? I looked at her. Not the way I used to. Not small. Not invisible. Not waiting. Just clear. And I said, Mom. I want to thank you. Her smile faltered. For making it very clear, in front of everyone here, exactly where I stand in this family. And for the first time in my life. I didn't wait for them to define what came next. And this was the moment I stopped being someone my family could quietly erase, and became someone they could never ignore again. I was sitting in my car in a CVS parking lot when my world split in two. One phone call. Aunt Colleen. Her voice was shaking so badly I almost didn't recognize her. Jasmine. I need to tell you something. I should have told you months ago. My grip tightened on the phone. What is it? A long pause. Too long. I accidentally forwarded you an email chain, back in August. It was meant for Vivian. My stomach dropped. And when you didn't respond, I thought maybe you saw it and just moved on. My voice went sharp. Colleen. What email? Her answer came quieter now. Check your spam folder. The subject line is, what to do about Jasmine. That was the moment my body went cold. Not nervous. Not anxious. Cold. Like something in me already knew I wasn't going to like what came next. I opened my email. Scrolled. Spam folder. Thousands of unread messages. And then I typed it. There it was. Dated August 8, 2025. My fingers hesitated for half a second. Then I opened it. And I wish I could say I wasn't ready. But deep down, I think I already was. It wasn't just an email. It was a conversation. Then another. Then another. 47 messages. 18 months of planning. About me. Like I was a problem they needed to solve. Not a daughter. Not a sister. Not even a person. Just Jasmine. A situation. The first message made my chest tighten instantly. What do we do about Jasmine? My mother. No emotion. No warmth. Just strategy. Then Vivian responded. She's unpredictable at events. Don't invite her. Keep it simple. Then my Aunt Colleen, she is still family, and then my mother again. A line I will never forget for as long as I live. I wish I only had one daughter. I stopped breathing. I read it again. Slower this time. Like maybe it would change if I understood it differently. It didn't. It was worse the second time. And then the pattern started to reveal itself. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even hatred. It was coordination. Cold. Casual. Normal. Keep her busy in the kitchen. She doesn't need to sit with guests. She won't notice if we don't invite her. She's easy to manage. Easy to manage. Like I was a schedule conflict. Like I was something inconvenient they had learned to route around. Then I saw the wedding email. Vivian, she'll believe that small ceremony excuse. My mother, I'll keep her occupied so she doesn't ask questions. And suddenly everything I thought I knew about my life collapsed. Because it wasn't that I wasn't included. It was that I was deliberately managed out. My hands were shaking now. But not from sadness. From clarity. For years I thought I was imagining it. Overthinking it. Being too sensitive. But there it was. Written proof. Black and white. They didn't forget me. They filtered me out. I sat in that parking lot for 45 minutes. No tears. No breakdown. Just silence. The kind that comes when something inside you finally stops arguing with reality. Because there was nothing left to misunderstand. They had built a system. And I had been living inside it. I created a folder. Named it one word. Evidence. And I forwarded everything. Every message. Every sentence. Every moment they thought was private. Then I closed my phone. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel confused about my family. I felt finished with them. The next morning, life didn't wait for me to recover. It escalated. An email. From Victoria Ashford. Subject, Arizona Rising Entrepreneur Award. My eyes scanned it once. Then again. 600 guests. Press coverage. Stage. Speech. Recognition. And one line that made everything shift again. You are this year's recipient. 3 weeks. That's all I had. 3 weeks before my life stopped being hidden. And started being seen. That night, I called Aunt Marlene. I told her everything. Every email. Every line. Every insult disguised as planning. There was a long silence on the phone. Then she said quietly, "So what are you going to do with it?" I thought about destruction. About exposure. About sending it all back to them like a mirror they couldn't escape. But something in me didn't want chaos. It wanted truth. Controlled. Unavoidable. Final. I'm not going to expose them, I said. Another pause. You're not. No. My voice steadied. I'm going to stand in front of them, and not disappear this time. The gala was set for December 18th, 600 people. Business leaders. Press. Power. And I did something simple. I invited them. All of them. My mother. My father. Vivian. Bradley. They didn't know I was the recipient. They thought it was networking. They thought it was status. They thought it was another one of Vivian's worlds. They had no idea I was already inside it. The night of the event, I stood backstage. Listening to the room fill. Waiting. Breathing slower than I felt. Victoria looked at me and asked, "Nervous?" I shook my head. No. Because I wasn't. Not anymore. I had spent 31 years being nervous around people who never saw me. This time, I was the one they were about to see. Then the announcement came. Tonight's award goes to Jasmine Fitzgerald. My name echoed through a room that was about to change. And I walked out. I didn't look for my family immediately. I looked at the room. Because for the first time, the room mattered more than their opinions of me. I spoke. About building. About starting over. About being underestimated so many times it became fuel instead of pain. My voice didn't shake. Not once. And then I said the line that changed everything. I started from nothing, not because I was nothing, but because no one ever made space for me to be anything else. That's when I saw them. My mother. My father. Vivian. All frozen. Because they understood something before the rest of the room did. This wasn't a story about struggle anymore. It was a story about escape. When I finished, the applause didn't start slowly. It hit all at once. A wave. Standing ovation. 600 people. Strangers. Witnesses. Validation I didn't ask for, but finally stopped needing. Afterward, my mother came to me. Alone. No mask this time. No performance. Just her. Her voice broke immediately. "Why didn't you tell me?" I looked at her for a long time. Not angry. Not sad. Just done pretending she didn't know. Would it have changed anything? I asked. Silence. Then I added, would you have believed me, or just defended her again? She flinched. Because she knew the answer. I didn't mean it like that, she whispered. But I shook my head. You meant it exactly like that. Another pause. Heavier now. Older. Tired. And I said the truth I had carried my whole life. I'm not angry anymore. Her eyes lifted slightly. I stepped back. I'm just no longer available for this version of us. And I turned away. She called after me. Are we still family? I stopped walking. Not because I was unsure. But because I finally was. We've always been family, I said softly. You just only ever treated me like I wasn't part of it. And I walked away. For real this time. In the days that followed, they tried. Calls. Emails. Voicemails. Apologies wrapped in excuses. But I didn't chase closure from people who needed me invisible to feel comfortable. I stopped responding. Not out of anger. But out of peace. Because here's what I learned. You don't need revenge to heal. You don't need to destroy people who already revealed themselves. You don't even need them to understand. You just need to stop shrinking. And for the first time in my life, I didn't. I stood. I spoke. I existed. Fully. Unapologetically. And they finally saw me. But by then, I had already learned how to see myself.